Hello, everyone. Looking at the viewers right now. I'm just waiting for them to roll in. Uh, so, before we get started with the Google Forms, I'll go ahead and wait for these viewers to pop up. Oh, we got one viewer. Hello. All right, guys. Whoever's looking at me right now, I can't see you, but the reason I'm sitting right here waiting, I'm just trying to get a few more viewers in because I'm sure people might be busy. And then I'll get started with the Google Forms setup. Two viewers. All right. Getting up there. It might just be Adam and Jessica, but either way. All right, two viewers so far. Just going to give this a few more minutes just to make sure everybody's in here, and then I'll go ahead and get started. Okay, well, I've been instructed to go ahead and go forward with this. So, again, my name's Nick Sledge. I'm with RCN Technologies, and today we're going to talk about the introduction to Google Forms. Um, so, first of all, in our business, we use forms every single day, and we want to bring this to the public eye so we can help you all streamline your workflows. Um, so, some things we're going to cover today. One, how to create a form, very simple. Our top uses for forms and how they help streamline those workflows that you have, and what to do with data collected in those forms, and also how to embed a form in your website. Um, so I'll go ahead and get started. Let me get the screen view on, and we'll go ahead and look at all these things I got for you. Okay. So I hope everybody can see me right now. All right. Now, so I want to go ahead and start out with how we create a Google form in the first place. Um, so the simplest way to start building a form is right from the Google Forms app. So what we're going to do, um, go to, going to go to forms.google.com. Um, this will bring you to the forms page. And of course, you have to have a Google account to get these things. Um, but so now here, these are all the forms that we have here in RCN. As you can see, we use them quite a bit. So at the lower right-hand corner, you can either create a new form, or you can go to choose a template. Now, there's also a link to Google Forms and like Docs and Sheets and Slides. You can go to File, New, Form, start a new blank form. There's also one in Google Sheets, and I'll get into that a little later. So we're going to start out by creating a new form. And this is what you get when you first start out. So I'm going to go over all these options one by one, and then we'll move on to the next scenario. So the form editor, it's straightforward. Your form fills the center of the screen with space for a title and description, followed by the form fields right here that we will be adding. You can click a form field to edit it and add a question. Use the drop down box next to the field to choose the field type. But I'm going to go over this one by one. So let's go ahead and start from the top. Right here, this is your title. This is what the form is going to be called. And right now, we'll go ahead and put IT request form. And usually, if you click on where the description is, it'll say whatever you put up on the title screen, but you can always change what it says here. So form. Okay. So Google Forms has several settings options. The floating toolbar on the right lets you add more form fields. So this is a form field right here. And if we want to add one, we can click add a question, add title and description, add an image, add video, or add a section to it. So click add a question, do that. And you can change, you can put your question title in there, whatever you want. Just put name. And Google Forms is intuitive. So you write in this title, in this field right here, it's going to pick up on, and there are options for your answers. You can have a short answer. You can click a multiple choice, check boxes, drop down, and it gives you options for each one. And on here, you can either duplicate the form field, or you can trash it. And if you want this form to be, required, if you want this title field to be required for the person receiving this form to answer it, all you got to do is click this little tab button, and all of a sudden, like, they cannot complete the form without answering this question. So I have one kind of worked out already. It's a submit a request to help desk. This one right here. This is one of the RCN Technologies help desk forms for any of the IT needs our customers have. And you see, to submit, the title is submit a request to help desk. You can always add a form description right here for people that don't know what it is. We have, for some of the form fields, we have email address, and you see this little red asterisk right here. We have made all of these required. So we have the email address, your name, what they're having problems with, whether it's Google Calendar, Gmail, Windows, and you can add all of these things because when you have a drop-down menu, that's what we have this for. Um, you can add these options, and you can add as many options as you want, or you can delete them just like that. So please provide a brief description of your problem. This is a long answer text. We have that set as a paragraph. We can add a picture right here if we chose to. And how urgent is your issue? Are there people in your work area experiencing the same issue? And then they would press send. Now, oops, sorry, I got a little mixed up here. So all you need to do is add your questions and send the form out. So let's look at the form options and what you can do with each. Up here at the top, I'm going to go from left to right. Of course, you got the title, and then you can move this to your folders in your drive. You can move it to anything. Once you click on this, I have it in Zaps right here, but you can move it to anywhere in your drive. Pick one, and it'll say right here, all changes saved to drive. Whenever you make changes to this, it'll automatically save. So to the right here, there's the icons I'd like to go over. The first one, this is the add-ons. So any extensions that you want to add on to forms, there are so many things that you can add on to these forms to help you stay organized, to help you, well, essentially streamline your workflows, as dumb as that may sound right now. But I think I'm going to go over that in another webinar, some specific types of add-ons that you can use for Google Forms. So this one right here is a customized theme. Good work. So right here, there's the theme options. So the header, what is in the back where it says RCN Technologies, you can always upload an image, or you can pick from a lot of different pictures that they have. So I'm going to go ahead and just change this to this right now. You select it, you press select, and then that will change the background to this. Just shoot or shoot, you know? So anyway, you can change the theme color. Just like little accents on these things that make them a little more personal. And there's a background color. Doesn't give many options here, but it usually has to do with the colors of the header theme that you have. And so the submit a request to help desk, all of the text inside of the form, you can change the font style. I have it set for formal, but you can there's some options like make it decorative, so basic, and playful. That looks like a kid wrote it. I'm not going to use that, but you could use that, and that's the beautiful part about it. So, okay, now, so there goes all the theme options. Now, right here is the preview. Now, when you select preview, this is what the people that are actually filling out these forms are going to see. So we're going to go ahead and click that. And this is what it's going to look like when somebody gets the form link or whatever, or however they open this from the link. This is what they're going to see. They're going to have to enter their email address, their name, what they're having problems with, and they choose this drop down and click whichever one. And notice it looks a little different from right here because these are the options that we chose, but because we chose a drop down list, this is what it looks like in practice, just like that, which looks very clean cut and professional. Please provide a brief description. How urgent is your issue, and are there people in your work area experiencing the same issue? Now, I will go back to this in a moment. Um, but so another thing, we're going to go to settings. Now, in the settings, there's a lot of different things that you can do with these forms, and I think we should go over each of them, so you know what you're doing. So the general, you can click this and collect email addresses um, to the response recipients. You know, if respondent requests it, or always. Um, Require sign in. You can, so if you're doing something that's just in your company, you can restrict it to users within your domain or to trusted domains, and you put them to as opposed to multiple. So down here in the respondents bar, you can edit after once they go ahead and submit their form. If they're like, oh, I made a mistake on that, I want to be able to go back and change it, they can just go back and indeed change whatever they wanted to change. But you can also check that off if you don't want them to do that. And if you want the respondents to see the summary charts of, the analytics that I'm about to show you here coming up, then you can also do that as well. So, and over here with these three bars, any changes that you make, you can always undo them. So you can go back and you can click undo, and whatever the last change that you made, it'll go back to before that change. You can make a copy of this. You can move it to the trash and get a pre-filled link to where you can get a pre-filled link and send this to people. You can print the form itself. You can add collaborators to whoever you wanted. So it's private to me right now, but if I wanted to add somebody in my form, I could send this link to share it, or I can add some names right here. We'll just try one. Add them, keep it a little wired, and he can edit this and see what's going on. So I just press send, and he gets notified. The preferences, no, okay. So now, I would like to switch gears just a little bit, and I will be going back to these. This submit a help desk, but I want to start. We want to move on to the responses tab now. And these responses, the cool thing about forms is like they can be recorded. They're all of the data is going to be recorded in these forms, and I'm going to show you a little bit about how that happens. So under the responses, there's one response. I did a test one, and it records these responses. So the email address that I put in when I filled out this form, or when somebody outside of your company fills out this form, it's going to say their email address, show you a list of those of all the responses. It's going to say their name, and here's a pie chart of when you get a lot of responses, it's going to gauge what exactly are these people having so much trouble with. And maybe once you gauge these things, you can have preventative maintenance to fix that, so these people don't have as many problems with, say. So right now I had a problem with Gmail, so it's 100% Gmail. But that's a good way to see these analytics right in front of your face. It's visual, and you can really get a good idea of the problems that your customers or the people that you're helping are having. Please provide a brief description. I just put test one. And so how urgent is your issue? They have another chart right here of, often how are these responses coming in? What are these people having trouble with, and like how urgent is it? And you can analyze these things and maybe do some preventative maintenance in the future to quell somebody saying that it's extremely urgent. Are these people in your work area experiencing the same issue? Yes and no. Again, it's all very visual inside of the form itself when you look in when you click on responses, and I think that's a beautiful way to visualize all the analytical data that these forms are collecting for you to better your business as you go forward. Um, Now, another thing you can do, you can actually view the responses in a sheet that you linked. And I'll go to this in a moment. But these three little bars right here, you get email notifications for new responses. You can click to select response destination, which is a linked form or which is a linked spreadsheet. You can unlink this form to the present spreadsheet that it already has, but I will not be doing that. Or you can just delete all responses and start from scratch. Uh, I have this form linked to a certain spreadsheet, and we're going to click this right here. And the Zap, it's labeled Zap RCN Technologies Help Desk Form Responses. Now, if you notice up in column 1 or row 1, you'll see all of the questions that people have answered, the title of them. I got the timestamp, the email address, your name, what are they having problems with. Um, Please provide a brief description. How urgent is the issue? Are these people in your work area experiencing the same issue? So in this, when these people do these forms, you're going to be collecting a ton of data from them. Often, the best ones to get is an email address and their name. But this will show, like in a spreadsheet, all the data is collected right here, and there is there's a lot of things that you can do with that as far as bettering your business. When everything is right in front of you like that, with minimal effort, it's very easy to go back to these things and study them to make your business better in whatever you do. So, I'm going to X out of this and see. Actually, when you go to Sheets, you can click on Forms. You can go to edit the form that it's linked to. You can send the form. You can go to a live form. You can embed the form in a web page, and this is actually all in Sheets as well. So it's very collaborative. G Suite is a very collaborative system, and you can do a lot of things with different apps in different apps. So I think that's a very beautiful thing about this as well. And if I'm going too fast for anybody, or if you're not understanding anything right off the bat, this will be posted for you all. I have a blog on the Elevate by RCN website that you can reference to of all these things that you can do with forms in the first place. So if anybody's behind, which I highly doubt, if anybody's behind on these things or anything like that, like I will be sending all of this information to you directly after the webinar. And again, thank you for joining, by the way, and listening to this terrible twang that I have. So moving on, I want to get to some of the top uses that we have for forms, and what you all could have for forms, whatever your business may be. I have them up here in my taskbar. So the first one that I wanted to go through is, of course, the submit a request to help desk. If you're an IT company or any type of any type of company that offers a service, you can submit. They can submit a request, like one of your clients or something. They're having a contract client. They're having an issue. You send them this form, or you embed it in your website. They go straight to it, and they put in all of their information and choose what they're having a problem with, and once they submit it, it is recorded, and it's also recorded into a spreadsheet if you have it linked to a spreadsheet. And it's a very important tool. RCN uses it all the time. I deal with these quite a bit. I think it's a wonderful thing to have. And it makes your life easier. You don't really have to talk on the phone to people. It's all just right there, and you can plan accordingly. So that's one of them. So Another one is a contact form. Uh, you put this in your website. Uh, if they want you to get back to them in some way, you put their name, last name, phone number, email address, what exactly their message is, and what's their preferred contact, an email, um, or a phone. So, uh, oh, and notice that when I try to click on one of these to answer this, the answer before it, since they're all required, I have to answer this question is required first. So that's one of those things where you toggle that required switch. Now, so another form that we have is a customer feedback. We'd love to hear your thoughts or feedback on how we can improve your experience. Um, so I think this is very important for the services or goods that you offer to somebody, and you want to get an idea of how they actually felt about it. And they can just go on here. You can send them a link, or you can embed it in your website, just like any of the other forms. And they will answer these questions. Feedback type is going to be compliment, questions, bug reports, feature requests, and they can write their feedback right here. Suggestions for improvement, the name and email. So, for the suggestion for improvement, you can take that constructive criticism and, help your business get better. And then once after that, you can reach out to these people if they have any type of issues, or they were happy with your service. You can follow up with them, and it would it it would be honestly some good PR moves if you could contact these people who actually cared enough to give you customer feedback. And since you made it so easy in this form, you contact them, and you create relationships with these people, whether good or bad feedback. So another good one is a job application form. If you're looking for people, if you're starting up, you're looking for people to add to your team. All you gotta do is post this somewhere, and you have their name, email, phone number. Which position are they interested in? Submit your cover letter or resume, including the attachments they have in front of your face, and you can go down the list and check and see who's the best fit for this job, who's the best fit for my company. Okay, so another one is submit purchases. You can keep track of your expenses. So I just used the submit RCN purchases one for an example. So anytime that we have to buy any hardware equipment or anything kind of on the spot for our clients or something, we'll probably go and get it, and we'll put this in. We'll put in the client name, who it was for, the project name, what it was had to do with, what we bought, how much it was, and the credit card it ends in. And we can keep track of our expenses through this way. And I think that's one of the biggest ways that Forms helps you, especially tracking your expenses, because all you got to do is put whatever you bought in this form, and it's going to be in a spreadsheet for you to look at and to record this data. And that's going to be big for you, and during tax season, especially if you own your own business. So I highly, highly recommend, if you don't do anything else, a contact form and a purchases form are two of the top ones that I stress for any company. So, and lastly, an order request. So, say you're offering some kind of service or good, and you send it out by mail or something like that. Are you a new or existing customer? And whatever they answer, you react accordingly to that. What is the item you would like to order? And I assume if it's on an e-commerce website or something, you can change it to put anything. Uh, any item number or anything like that to choose from. You can create a drop down list, anything like that. What color would you like your order? Then the product options, and then it goes and says like your contact info, your name, phone number, email, preferred contact method, questions and comments, and they submit it. Now, again, this all goes back to being linked to Google Sheets. I cannot stress this enough, is a very important part of Google Forms. Um, so the best part about that, once you have the order request, they can, like, it will be recorded for you, and all you got to do is go right back to that sheet, and whatever the newest one is, or whatever list you have, you can pick out that item, send it in the mail, and they'll have it. And there's no confusion. There's not a ton of phone calls that one has to make sure everything's in the right place. You know what they have, and you know what they need. You send it out to them. So again, so we got, just a recap. We got the help desk form. That's very vital for RCN Technologies, at least. That's how we get our requests in, and that's how we run the business, essentially. So we got the request form, a contact form, the customer feedback form, job application form, and a submit purchases form, and lastly, an order request. So I said 5, but I gave you 6, and I hope that that honestly any company could use all of these things. And the best part about it, you can tailor all of these forms to fit like your exact needs. Again, this is just an introduction. There's so many things on the internet that you can find, especially from Google, to how to build anything out for your business specifically, and forms can do it. Like, if you need it, there's a form for that. So I'm going to go ahead and switch gears. Let me look in my notes for just a moment. Okay. And lastly, so we've covered the top forms, how these can help your workflows. And lastly, I'd like to tell you all how to embed a form on your website. Now, actually, let me check and see if this video is still going. Oh, cool. All right. So you all can still do it. Y'all can still see everything. Do you see how my screen's just going like that? We're going to take that back down. Okay. So to all the 5 viewers that are watching this, I really appreciate your time, and I hope this actually helps you out a little bit. So lastly, I'd like to go to how to embed a form. So once you're satisfied with your form, you click on, sorry. So once you're satisfied with your form, you're going to click on send. Now, and there's a button right here for the embed code. This will bring up a send form pop-up where you need to click on the embed tab. Click next, you click on the copy link to copy the embedded code. Okay, so copy to clipboard. After that, you're going to head over to WordPress. Like, our website is in WordPress. Most website are handled within WordPress. So I already got this set up. You go to the site's admin area and edit the poster page where you want to display the form. So I'm going to go to posts, and I'm just going to click on the Streamline Your Business with Google Forms blog that I had posted earlier this week. Now, so the important thing is, when you go to this is where all the content lies. So the visual representation is going to look like this. This is my blog. Okay, so what we're going to do, you can embed this in anything, but I'm just going to embed a specific form inside of this blog. So I'm going to go down all the way, or wherever you would like to put it, honestly. And this step, you have to click text here up at the right hand corner. And now it's all going to be looking like this. All of the pictures, everything you put in here. So wherever you want to post this link, the embedded link that you copied. Now, let's see if I can find a good place. So we'll start right here. So I'm going to paste that embedded link for the form inside right here. And this is what it's going to look like. Now, don't get confused. Don't get scared about all these words and code looking things on the screen. If you didn't save anything, you're not going to hurt anything by putting this in. So I copied and pasted the link inside of my post, and you want to go to preview changes, and this is going to show you. So here's what people see, who when they enter this blog. Now I'm going to go down. Where did I put this? Okay. So the submit a request to help desk. This is the form that I embedded into the website. And it looks like only a picture, but it is functional. I hope so anyway. Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and put my name, put my email address, my name. I'm having problems with, we'll just say, I think I've been hacked, which we do also have a blog for that if you ever think you got hacked as well. Please provide a brief description. Say test now. I think I've been hacked. How urgent is your issue? We'll just say extremely. Are there people in your work area experiencing the same issue? Yes or no. And then we submit it. And it says the response has been recorded, and it's still embedded into your website. So anytime that you need to put this on a certain page or a certain post, it's very, very easy to do. And it's very functional. And honestly, the user interface, it looks really good too on your website. So that is definitely something that you can put any of these contact form, customer feedback, any of these on your websites and utilize these things for analytical data to make your business better. Now, let's see. I'm going to save any of those things. So I want to go back to the response that I recorded. So now instead of one response, there are two. So the 100% Nick at Elevate by RCN.com. It gauges how many times one email address is recorded and however many different ones. Response names, both Nicholas. Now it's 50-50. For that, I'm having problems with it was other, and the other ones, I think I've been hacked. And you see how that plays out pretty well. And here are the descriptions of all the problems that they've had. Test 1, and I think I've been hacked. How urgent is your issue? Now it's 50% not urgent, 50% extremely. Are the people in your work area experiencing the same issue? Yes and no. All right, so I'm going to go over to the sheet one more time and show you how the response was recorded again. So I just put this in right here for row 3. It'll load. Perfect. All right. So that's the response I just put in through the website on a Google form. And it was still recorded in this response sheet, and everything is laid out right here for you. It's really a beautiful thing to have these in your possession, because if you're not measuring, you're not marketing. So once you have all this data right in front of you, you can make business decisions based off of the data that just these Google Forms, just people putting in simple information can help you do. It can help you get in touch with clients or potential customers very quickly and easily. It can help you make these hard business decisions. You know, what do I need to make better about my company, and what do I, need to help my employees with more, or what do I need to help my customers with more? All of this is going to be recorded data, and I can't stress that enough. And I'm really happy that I get to use these things every day because it makes my job easier. Um, so I'm going to go back to the regular feed now. Oops. Now, I hope that you all learned something about Google Forms today. This is just a brief introduction of some of the things that Google Forms can do for you and for your business to make things a little bit easier so you don't have to worry about them so much. And it's all in front of your face. Again, I really do thank you all for joining me on my first RCN webinar, and Big Ben over here as well. So again, I hope you all learned something, enjoyed yourself a little bit, and I will be getting back to you all once this broadcast is over. I'll be sending out any of the email respondents that have decided to view this webinar. I will be giving you all resources that have to do with Google Forms, and this video will be available for playback. But I mean, I assume you don't want to hear my voice over and over again, which I don't blame you at all. But again, thank you so much for joining me. And RCN Technologies, an introduction to Google Forms. We're making businesses better at every step of the way. So have a good one. I don't know how bad it is outside anymore. It's probably still snowing pretty bad, but now I'm just rambling because I don't have any more content for this broadcast. But again, thank you for joining, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.